Ladies and gentlemen, co-chair of the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Commission, Harold Holzer.
Harold Holzer, editor of a book put out in 1993, The Lincoln-Douglas Debates.
I'm especially glad that the program includes my friend from the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Commission, Harold Holzer.
Harold Holzer is with the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. He has written this book that we can make it easy for you to get, called The Lincoln-Douglas Debates.
We're very pleased to welcome back to our studio Harold Holzer, one of the nation's preeminent Lincoln scholars.
Harold is the Jonathan F. Fenton Director of Hunter College's Roosevelt House Public Policy Institute.
Harold Holzer joins us to talk about President Abraham Lincoln's influence.
Harold Holzer, another Lincoln book. Dr. Holzer, as I'm often want to call you, even though you're not a doctor.
Please welcome Harold Holzer.
Why have you spent so much time, so much effort researching Abraham Lincoln?
Well, I mean, the rewards are wonderful. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that. That Lincoln was one of the most gifted writers America ever produced. I don't think there was another president up to that time, including George Washington, who made himself so consistently available to artists and sculptors. Yeah, I think the two elements that are universal and that appeal to young people are the rags to riches story, the log cabin to White House story, the real living of the American dream, going from obscurity to power. The fact that you can do it through hard work and reading and study and all of the applications that he brought to his ambition. As Lincoln once said to his small son, who was having trouble comprehending a Shakespearean soliloquy, he turned to his little boy and said, "My boy, it's all in the speech." And I think we can say the same of the great second inaugural.
Why is it so controversial?
If you challenge people's perception of Abraham Lincoln, it elicits a very strong response, pro and con. The myth deflators love the idea of anything new being advanced about Lincoln. It's an honor to be standing again on this sacred spot to help the U.S. Mint unveil the commemorative coin that will honor the 16th president. I can't help observing, as I look into this audience, how Lincoln himself would have noted that the struggles of the 1860s had to be fought again in the 1960s. It's worth recalling a time when words were valued, when orators were stars, cultural superstars, and politicians, even in the most divisive time in American history, yes, much more divisive than our own, were generally respected and admired, even if people disagreed.
And what got you into this in the first place?
A grade school assignment in 5th grade in which we were experimenting with a form of biography and picked a subject literally out of a hat.
Harold Holzer started all this for us, wrote a book called The Unexpurgated Text of the Lincoln-Douglas Debate.
This is number 6, and the intensity level is still high. People, I think, are talking about the programs around the country, and the exuberance in the towns is just unbelievable. Douglas knew from the beginning that this process could be of no benefit to him. The last thing he needed was to waste his time facing Lincoln face to face. Of course, as close to face as they could get, one fellow being 5'2" and the other being 6'4". Great leaders, I think we all agree, have to be great communicators. People love political oratory. They thronged rallies and events.
Lincoln and the Power of the Press. What number is this for you?
47, but that's including co-authored books and edited books. Don't want to inflate the number. Every time I worry that I have nothing new to write about, something spontaneous happens and I think of something, and some editor somewhere, fortunately, at least until now, thinks it's a good idea, and I go forward with something else. It's like selling a book to the movies, I guess, for me. It's not easy to sell a collection of debates to cinema, so this is certainly the best thing. The first experience I had came, I guess, was 2006, when, along with a group of Lincoln historians organized by Doris, we all met at a hotel in New York City with Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner for the first time.
I heard somebody on one of the clips on one of the shows saying that it's the best of its kind in the world.
That was me.
That was you?
Yes.
How do you keep doing this?
I get an inspiration or an invitation to pursue a path that hasn't been pursued before, certainly not by me. this was more inspiration than invitation. And so I plunge into it, and I just love doing the research. I love doing the writing, and I love this part of it too, the conversation.
Please give a warm welcome to Harold Holzer and Brian Lamb.